Have you ever wondered if you could turn your financial panic and or anxiety into peace? That's exactly what I had to learn over the past couple of years. I'm not saying I have completely overcome my financial panic and or anxiety, but I've definitely come a long way, and I really want to share my experience in hopes that someone out there who's watching, who clicked on this video looking for some sort of help or guidance, could relate and possibly change their way of thinking when it comes to their finances and self-esteem and future. So let me explain where exactly I came from, because the truth is I didn't always have it all together. As a quick backstory, or just so that you have this information, because it kind of sets the tone as to why I struggled so much when I was younger. I have ADHD, I talk about it a lot, but I feel having it undiagnosed and unaware that I had it for a very long time led me to a lot of issues in my life, in my adult life. And mainly that was just not being able to focus, and my self-esteem kind of played a big role into why I couldn't get my shit together. So I was the type of person, and I still am to this day, I'm always looking for something to improve myself. I hyperfixate on things. That was before medication and after medication. Being medicated, the difference is that I actually stick to things a lot longer to see the reward for it. And where my self-esteem comes into play is I never thought I was smart enough. I never thought I could do the hard steps. Things just became so overwhelming, and because I have a consistency issue, I should say. If you guys have been watching my videos, then you guys know that that's something I've struggled with here on YouTube with posting videos. That's not gonna go into that because I've talked about it so much. It really made it difficult to pay attention in school, not seek immediate gratification and instant reward. I was always searching for dopamine hits. Having low self-esteem really just made it hard to believe in myself so that I could stick through things and envision kind of what my life would be like had I completed something when I was younger. So I didn't fully complete school. I did courses, which at the time when I dropped out of, I just never signed up for next semester. When I dropped out of university, I was like, that was a waste of money, da 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 da. Thankfully though, if you look back at my dental hygiene videos, I talk about how those courses really helped me actually finish my program or get to starting my dental hygiene program a lot faster, because I could use those credits towards the requirements. Didn't get the best grades back then because I wasn't 100% into it. To overcompensate that feeling, I would spend a lot of money on food, drinks, partying, traveling. I spent a lot of money on traveling, just putting it on credit card, and never feeling like I had a full grasp on my money. I was super avoidant, and basically that's how I got into consumer debt. It got to a point where even when I was trying to get a handle on my money situation, I was in a position doing hair and makeup where I wasn't making enough money or getting paid regularly for me to feel like I could successfully budget, just because it all felt so overwhelming, and my ADHD brain just didn't know where to start. So maybe you felt like I did, where no matter how hard you tried, you just could never get ahead. At that point, that's exactly where I was in my life. But little by little, things started to shift and change for the better. I'm sure we have all been through it, comparing ourselves to others. I still do it to this day. I compare myself to my friends or peers who are in the same age group and feel like they're further ahead in life, and I feel like I am delayed. Losing motivation when things are slow, that is a really big thing for me. Because of my ADHD and the type of person I am, I need to see the results of what I'm doing almost immediately, which is why I think I like being a dental hygienist, because I like seeing clean teeth right away. I like working with my hands. But when I lose motivation, or when you lose motivation, you might be prone to impulsive spending. And then this is what always got me at some point, when I felt like things were on a roll, were unexpected expenses, completely derailing my budget and my financial goals. At a certain point in my life, it just felt like I couldn't keep living this way. I couldn't, and I didn't want to. I had envisioned a life for myself, and I kind of worked myself backwards from there and figured out, I'm still figuring it out, but I'm basically on that path right now to the life that I have envisioned for myself. It's almost like I can remember the moment, the day, how I looked like, what it felt like when I decided to change my mindset. I didn't want to be a victim to my past anymore. I quickly realized that I could not do anything about the past, but I can do everything about the future to an extent. I still feel that way to this day about my future, just extremely hopeful and optimistic that if I really, really wanted to do something, change my life, I could do it. And that's because I overcame one of the hardest things I thought I never could do in the past. Completing that, overcoming it, paying off a huge amount of debt, changing my life, my career, mentally, physically, I'm without a doubt a completely different person. And it's all thanks to my past self creating these situations that I've had to overcome. Along with refusing to be a victim of my past, I decided I was going to be the number one advocate for myself. This was years in the making. It seems like it now that I switched up my life, changed up my life so quickly. And in the scheme of a life, yes, but it's definitely been a 5, 6, 7 year process of me getting to the point that I'm at now. The little mindset changes that I've made are the things that keep me going on a day-to-day basis. I had trouble looking at my banking apps, knowing how much money I had. So I forced myself to take a look. Not so much about the money I have, it's more so about the money I'm spending. I still go through some waves of setbacks where I ignore everything, but I have to put my big girl pants on and open those apps and take a look at my bank accounts and kind of face reality. So having a physical, mine's on my computer, so it's not literally physical, but I do have a place where all my numbers are written out. And I do believe that that is the biggest thing you can do for yourself, is figure out what type of budgeting works for you and your type of income. That way it really relieves your brain of all this energy that it's using up to consciously, subconsciously think about money all day long. So I went from thinking budgeting was really restrictive to mentally freeing. You really need to be honest with yourself, the money you have, the money you're in debt with. Easy to want to put your head in the sand and hide and not take a look at reality, but that's just going to further dig you into this bigger hole, and it'll be harder to come out from, which is, I did that. Thankfully, I managed to stop at some point before it got way worse, but it's a really, really uncomfortable feeling. And I always say this, change is uncomfortable. So if you're feeling that way, feeling like you're scared to be looking at your bank account, it's a sign that it's something that you should be doing. And then you'll realize it's actually not that bad. It's just a number on a screen, and there's no way that it can physically hurt you. So looking at my bank account, tracking everything that I spent, and really isolating or making a clear idea of what my wants are versus what my needs and necessities are. And something that helps you keep going is celebrating small wins. Seeing that what I was doing was working, paying off bills, paying off debt, having an emergency fund grow. These all gave me little bouts of confidence to keep going and knowing I was going in the right direction. So here are the exact steps that I did that helped me make a difference in my financial journey. Being strict is great, but it is not a lifelong sustainable thing that you can do. So being flexible in your budget is really going to help you stick to it. Life happens, the budget needs room to adjust. I could have paid off my debt a lot faster had I not wanted to save up an emergency fund, had I not wanted to get my nails done, had I not wanted to get my hair done. I really could have, but I knew that if I didn't feel good about myself and didn't have these little things for me in my budget, that I would have completely torpedoed my progress, because I would have been so deprived of any entertainment, fun, or feeling like I'm doing anything for myself. I just would not have finished or completed my goal of paying off, what was it, $26,000 of consumer debt. So some people may not be at that point where they're not making enough money. That was me. I was at that point at the very beginning of my journey, which is why I went to school. There's a lot of things I could have done other than going to school. Just when sitting down and thinking about the lifestyle I wanted, the way that I was making money before, which was through hair and makeup, was not something that I felt like was a good idea for me. I had to switch careers completely. This is something I still struggle with today because it's a thing that I have to deal with, my impulsivities and Pausing before purchases and deciding if this is something that I really need is something that I'm actively working on. I think it's really important that if you're trying to follow steps, get help, that this is something you yourself have to try. I had to take my credit card off my phone, make it harder to purchase stuff online, had to take off apps. And if there was something I really, really wanted, I put that as a sinking fund in my category and I would slowly save up for it. And then celebrating progress. You have to find those little wins, whatever keeps you going. If it's $50 in your savings account, emergency fund, that is better than what it was before. I'm not saying that you need to purchase something for yourself as like reward or treat, but definitely allow yourself to feel proud of accomplishing whatever goal that was for you. And then there's stress spending, when you feel like you need some sort of outlet and buying something gives you that little bit of dopamine hit. It's not worth it. I've learned to work with my impulsiveness than against it. And it's taken me a few tries to kind of get this to work for me. I figured out that if I have a chunk of money that's just for miscellaneous spending, I feel better about just having that money. I'm less likely to actually buy it versus when I don't have anything in there, then I get this weird like anxiety pressure in my chest and I end up buying the thing and then having to move money around my budget. But now that I actually have a category where I've been funding it intentionally and not just putting in whatever's like left over, $1 to $10 here and there, I actually put away money. I have been buying way less. So that's one way of dealing with stress spending, but another way would be to replace it. So if you feel like you are wanting to buy something because you're stressed out, because you're looking for that dopamine hit, try another goal, another outlet. So like walking, writing, journaling, something that gets you moving and kind of off your phone, to be honest, because social media, our phones, whatever, are just set up in a way today to make us want to spend money, and it sucks, unfortunately. I promise, even if you apply one of these things to your financial journey, there will be some sort of results, whether more peace, more financial freedom, less financial anxiety. And I think the biggest one that you would probably benefit from completing any one of these steps is just the ability to make intentional changes to your life. If you're in a place of financial stress right now, know that you are not stuck there forever. Life has to keep moving. The day will end, the week will end. It will come and go, and you can get through this. It's one small step at a time. And that's the thing, it's time. It will take time. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I'm gonna leave that there. Let me know in the comments below what your financial journey looks like if you're willing to share. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.